First at 4, whether you work in the auto industry or not, the UAW's contract talks will have a huge impact on this region. What's coming next in those negotiations? Also, smashed to pieces, debris everywhere. We are tracking destruction left behind by Hurricane Idalia with updates on how many people died. And is the storm threat over yet? We're tracking our weather. You can expect another comfortable evening, but Mother Nature is going to turn up the heat. And we have this.
A good hair day can make all of the difference. Coming up, I'll show you how a local woman is boosting moods and confidence by simply helping women with their appearance.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, thousands of auto workers are waiting for the next big update on contract talks with Detroit's Big Three. UAW President Shawn Fain will speak out on Facebook Live in about 2 hours. Union leadership is currently negotiating a national deal and local contracts with Ford, Stellantis, and General Motors. The current contracts expire 2 weeks from today on September 14th. The membership has voted to authorize a strike. The UAW has a big wish list with a 40% pay raise and a 32-hour work week, among other things. New at 5, business editor Rob Maloney digs further into these critical negotiations and what comes next. Detroit's mayor is pushing a new proposal that could give city homeowners an across-the-board property tax cut, averaging about 17%. Mayor Mike Duggan says it's a 3-step process that includes state legislation, city council approval, and he's hoping voters will get their say in February of 2024. There are a lot of details to sort through, but the mayor says it's basically about leveling the playing field for the city.
Detroit will, for the first time in decades, have a property tax rate that's comparable to Southfield, Warren, Grosse Pointe, Ferndale, Oak Park, and our neighbors. That's what we're trying to achieve.
The land value tax legislation will be introduced in Lansing next week. Tonight at 5:30, we're going to take a closer look at how that tax burden is being shifted, and we'll also have more on that process and how it could play out. Livonia police say when they arrested a bank robbery suspect, he had his 4-year-old son in the getaway car. Court documents show a robber pointed a gun at several employees last Tuesday inside of a bank just down the street from the Livonia Police Department. Investigators tracked that getaway car to a nearby church parking lot and found the little boy inside the vehicle. He was turned over to his mom, the suspect arrested. Former President Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty in the Georgia election case he's facing, along with 18 other defendants. He's also waived an arraignment, which means he won't have to show up for a court hearing scheduled for next week. Trump is accused of trying to overturn the presidential results in the state of Georgia in the 2020 election. The former president denies any wrongdoing. First forecast featuring 2 words we love when it comes to weather: calm and comfortable. Let's check in with Ron Hilliard, who is in for Kim Adams today. Hey, Ron.
Hello to you, Karen. I think it's going to be beautiful, and we're going to be using those words a little bit more over the next few days as we go into the Labor Day weekend. So across the area right now, things are looking absolutely stunning. The horizon right there looking beautiful. You see the blue skyline, the skyline, and then the blue sky, just perfect out there. Comerica Park, Fort Field out there. 72 right now as you look into Detroit, 73 in Ann Arbor. It is 72 in Port Huron, 73 in Adrian. Those winds are rather light at this time. So this evening, we are going to stay comfortable, clear, cool, and yes, comfortable. We'll be getting down into the lower 60s, around 60 degrees for midnight. And then as we get into our Friday, things looking very well, but still seeing some impacts as we look into the Outer Banks of North Carolina right now. You see right here the yellow, that is for tropical storm warnings. It is Tropical Storm Idalia right now as it is off over the water in the Atlantic. I want to show you what's happening out there with the enhanced satellite. You can see the stormy weather out there. Idalia right along here, very different from what it looked like before. It is now not as impressive looking, weaker. Hurricane Franklin, this is moving away from land, and Jose moving toward the north as well. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what we can expect with our weekend forecast coming up. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ron. Meantime, the tropical storm may have headed out to sea, but the coast of North Carolina is still looking gloomy. take a look right now. Live pictures showing some big waves in Kill Devil Hills. It has been a destructive 24 hours across the southeast. The storm hit a handful of states, with Florida being hit the hardest. Let's bring in Kimberly Gill for a closer look at what Idalia has left behind.
Yeah. Hi, Karen. Good afternoon to you. This is video from the town of Norfolk, Virginia. That state wasn't directly in the storm's path, but it's still feeling some effects of it. Idalia was a Category 3 storm when it made landfall in Florida, but was downgraded to a tropical storm about 24 hours ago. Southern Virginia is seeing some street flooding, but much less severe than what they're seeing in Florida. Idalia really bashed parts of Florida as well as Georgia. As many as 500,000 customers were without power in those two states. And you can see how high winds just about blew this plane over. It did blow it over in Perry, Florida. The storm came ashore with gusts at 125 miles per hour. All right, now let's move to Cedar Key. That's where the heartbreaking and painstaking process of cleaning up is getting started. A record storm surge slammed into that Big Bend section of Florida. You can see piles of rubble and debris where buildings once stood. Officials are backtracking a bit on the reports of 2 deaths in Florida. They say 2 people were killed in weather-related crashes, but they took place hours before Idalia made landfall. Florida's governor says the storm hit a lightly populated part of the state this time, unlike last year, of course, when Hurricane Ian hit Fort Myers and 149 people died. Still, Governor Santos says he's seeing an extensive path of destruction.
There's a massive amount of debris because you have a lot of trees in this part of the state, and there were trees knocked down. They would knock down power lines. There were branches and all kinds of stuff kind of everywhere. You did see structural damage to buildings. I saw roofs torn off of businesses. We saw other types of hurricane damage. There's no question.
So right now, Karen, there seems to be 1 direct storm-related death after a man in Valdosta, Georgia, was killed when a tree fell on top of him as he was trying to remove another tree off the road. So
I know we heard from President Biden mentioning, obviously, a visit to Florida.
Right. We did today. He spoke today while he met with FEMA, and he says he will review the destruction in Florida Saturday. And he also says he's already approved a major disaster declaration requested by Governor DeSantis there in Florida. So we'll have much more on Idalia's impact when you join us for Local 4 News at 5.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Kim. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas trying to set the record straight this afternoon about some gifts from a billionaire Republican. The justice says he accepted flights on a private jet because of security concerns around the court's ruling to overturn Roe versus Wade. He also disclosed he sold his mother's home to his friend Harlan Crow back in 2014. Now, he said his failure to disclose the sale for 9 years was inadvertent. The court has been under fire since the ProPublica story revealed that those perks and luxurious vacations as well have occurred. The Supreme Court currently does not have a binding code of conduct. Many of us know the thrill of a really good hair day. One local woman has been able to spread that feeling, make some money while she does it. As Black-owned Business Month is coming to an end, Kim DeGiulio has the story of a woman who started her business while living with her mom. And take a look at how far she's come.
Her name is Deja Pryor, and when it comes to styling hair, well, she's a genius. But her business is much more than just giving women a great head of hair. It's about boosting their self-esteem. Ever since Deja Pryor was young living with her mom, she had a nag for styling hair, specifically wigs.
I went from my mom's house, dorm room, apartment, into now my own spot.
Her own spot in downtown Ferndale, Monet Allure, where she makes custom wigs on her sewing machine, then bleaches, customizes, and installs them on her clients. It's a hobby she got into because she wanted to help women with their confidence.
I struggle with the confidence of my own hair. Like, I know I really wanted like thick, long, pretty hair, and I just had to realize like I just wasn't born with that gene, and it's okay. And I knew that I was not the only woman that felt this way.
Deja says half of her clients are women just looking for that dream hair. The other half of her clients have experienced hair loss because of health-related issues.
My first sale was a woman who had alopecia, which is another avenue that I have recently really got into, was being a cranial prosthesis specialist. And what that is that I am certified to like help people who have had medical hair loss for any reasons like prenatal, cancer, alopecia.
Deja takes pride in giving those women that boost of confidence, getting their identity back through her wigs.
It doesn't mean that just because you lost your hair, it doesn't mean like you won't ever feel pretty again, you won't ever feel beautiful again.
She also takes pride in being a Black-owned business, helping women have the hair of their dreams without hours of prep time and damage to their natural hair.
When it came to Black women specifically, our hair is not always the most convenient when it comes to working out and like trying to go to work and trying to do this. So in our everyday busy lives, a wig is way more convenient.
Deja does have an online presence where you can purchase a wig and have it shipped to you. However, if you're looking for a wig based on hair loss from something medical, she would need to see you in person because each medical condition requires a different type of wig and installation.
All right, by the way, Deja's storefront in Ferndale will celebrate her first anniversary this February.